Stadiums come in all shapes and sizes throughout the world, and while they are usually built to optimize and maximize attendance and revenue, there are some that were definitely built much larger than they ever should have been. And in this video, we will go over 5 of them. This is 5 current stadiums that were built too big. So first on this list, we're going to go to the first retractable roof stadium in baseball
in the United States,
in Chase Field, then Bank One Ballpark when it was built. This stadium has a capacity of just over 48,500, making it the 4th largest in Major League Baseball. Other than in the stadium's inaugural season, attendance has never averaged anywhere close to the 48,000 that this stadium can hold. Aside from the fact that it's very big for a baseball stadium, so much of the seating is behind the plate and the foul lines that its upper deck just goes so much higher than the average baseball stadium. And given the stadium's layout, there really isn't much that they can do to reduce seating. And in today's world of baseball attendance, it's just going to be very difficult to ever really fill this stadium much at all other than opening day and playoff games. Next on this list we have TIAA Bank Field, which opened in 1995. Now this stadium was built larger on purpose to accommodate the Florida-Georgia game every year that they play in college football. But given the size of the Jacksonville market, 73,000 is on the higher side of NFL stadiums, and as the shine of having a new team in Jacksonville wore off, so did its attendance numbers, so much so that they ended up putting tarps in the upper deck and in some of the end zone side seating to avoid blackouts. Now they were able to reduce the capacity of the stadium while still being able to expand it to a point where they can still host the Florida-Georgia game. Seats were taken out of the end zone sides, and in the lower bowl, seats were taken out to make a club and bar area, so now it's only 67,000, and the tarps haven't been used in the upper deck for quite a while now. However, giving up a home game every season to London also probably helps make attendance for other games higher. Next we have a wild card here in Stanford Stadium in California. This stadium was completely rebuilt on top of its much larger predecessor. The original had almost 90,000 in seating, but the rebuilt stadium sits at just over 50,000, which is still really too much for a school like Stanford. They're able to fill it for some of the bigger games, but today it rarely ever gets close to being full. Stanford's known for its sparse crowds as of late, and it just can't draw like other West Coast schools like Oregon or USC. Next we have Tropicana Field, which originally was about 45,000 in capacity when it first opened for the Rays in '98, at which point it was already 8 years old and had been used for hockey and other events before. Really from the get-go, it was just never going to work as far as being filled on a regular basis. Even in the first season at the stadium, the average was like in the 30,000s, low 30,000s. With the stadium being a subpar design, aged when it opened, the team being far away from Tampa's more densely populated areas, and the team being really bad its first 10 years in Major League Baseball, it quickly made it so that this stadium was never really going to need 45,000 seats. And so capacity reductions have been done mostly in the form of tarps, and they have slowly creeped down from the top rows to a point where now the whole upper deck is closed. Its listed capacity is only 25,000 now, despite being able to seat thousands upon thousands more than that. This stadium was really such a poor concept in so many ways, and it just keeps showing through today. And last but definitely not least is FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland, which opened in 1997 to a capacity of just over 80,000. Now when it opened, the Redskins were a very popular team. They had a long season ticket waiting list, and they would even go on in 2004 to expand the stadium to over 90,000, even though it had never officially sold out before or since. Practically no NFL stadiums are built to this capacity. Even Cowboys Stadium, which is expandable to 100,000, is listed generally at around 80,000 in capacity. And because it was going to be pretty much impossible to fill it on a regular basis, they did these seat reductions in the upper deck beginning in 2012, and they just look really bad. After all the reductions, it currently sits at about 67,000 and change today. You might as well have just left it as it was, because the adjustments with the tarps and the cutting off seats. It just looks terrible. And since it's so big and really too hard to reduce seats without making the stadium look bad, they're looking for a new stadium, and we'll probably build one, and this one will be forgotten. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.